going to be putting the tough questions to him. Well, meanwhile, the big three pleading, as you can see, for $34 billion from Congress. But should they get it? Harry Rady of Rady Asset Management joins us now. Harry, great to see you. As we know, Moody's just came out with an estimate that, this is only the beginning. It could be anywhere from $75 to $125 billion eventually. Do you think if we give them something now, they'll be back for more?
Yes, I do. But I think the bigger issue is this industry is basically structurally flawed. They have an unhealthy relationship with their unions. Their fixed costs are too high. They have too much debt. The list goes on and on and on. These are just simply poor businesses.
Okay, how could they get better? You telling me that we can't have any automakers here in the United States that can figure it out and do it right, Harry?
No, well, I mean, first of all, their products are replaceable. If every U.S. car were eliminated, I think that foreign automakers would quickly fill in the gaps. That said, I think that if these structural flaws in their businesses were fixed, I believe very strongly in the U.S. auto worker, in the American worker's ability to compete on the global market. So if these structural flaws were fixed, I think they could compete very effectively.
But, Harry, the problem is, despite all the mistakes that they've made in Detroit, the politicians now want to be the managers, and their magic bullet are hybrids. They think that hybrids is going to solve everything, that's the business model that'll be the future. But Toyota still can't sell a Prius at a profit. So that's not going to solve anything, is it?
No, I think that some of the things that the politicians are saying are terrifying. The only way I would support a bailout would be if the focus were laser-like on repairing the businesses. No focus on ancillary businesses, like electric cars, and I heard talk of rail cars and buses and other things. They need to downsize. They need to right-size. They need to fix these businesses, not go into other businesses and make this more complicated.
But, Harry, you mentioned electric cars. They blew the opportunity after the 70s oil crunch, and then they found themselves in just the same difficult situation when oil became $147 a barrel this past summer. Nobody wanted to buy trucks. Don't they have to start making cars that are fuel efficient, even though oil is down right now?
Oh, yes, I agree. But having politicians tell you how to run your business and to all of a sudden make it a cornerstone of their business philosophy, I believe is a mistake. If you have the right management in place and the right structure for them to compete, they'll determine the right time, the right size, the right trajectory, if you will, to introduce those types of products. Right now, they need to right size and get focused.
Well, and you have to have the right car to sell. You have to have a car that consumers are going to buy, because they're not buying a lot of the cars. One car that is selling, our own Jeff Locke was in Lansing yesterday at a Cadillac plant. Cadillac CTSs and other models are selling just fine. Do we have to downsize GM to just the models that are selling well?
I think that a lot of the products that exist today have no relevance in the marketplace, and I think that very quickly a number of those products need to be eliminated, and they need to determine where they can compete. But again, they need to right-size the business. They need to have the capital to invest in R&D to compete with the foreign auto manufacturers. If they do have this right structure and the amount of capital to invest in R&D, again, I think they could have some very competitive products, and I think that our whole country could be very proud.
Harry, who's your favorite auto company in the whole world? Who is doing it right, in your opinion? Who's got that great business model where they can follow it and it actually works?
Well, as I said, I've been bearish on not only the domestic manufacturers, but the foreign manufacturers virtually my whole career. I just think it's a very difficult business. It's very cyclical, very capital intensive. If I had to pick one manufacturer, I'd say Porsche, because they are an engineering powerhouse. They provide engineering services for companies around the world, not just automobile engineering, but they've got a real diversified engineering base.
Harry Rady from Rady Asset Management. Harry, great straight talk. We like it. Thanks very much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
And we were talking about